is the one wicket keeper batsman? Are you eager to looking at the World Cup? One wicket keeper batsman.
Um, I'm. I think at the moment I would go with Rishabh Pant. Uh, the reason is his courageous kind of play. Um, there are other players that are other wicketkeeper batsmen that are also really good, but I like his courage. He is not the best of keeping wise, but I'm talking more of the on the betting side, because when you are a wicketkeeper better nowadays in T20 format, it's more the betting that's looked at than the keeping. So I think his courageous way of playing is what excites me when I watch him play.
How do you see the concept of legendary cricket where all the dad cricket making a comeback, playing against each other with each other? So, your thoughts?
Aap kaise hai? I'm learning a little bit of Hindi. Anyway, it's been good back in India, and it's good, meeting some of the players that I had not met for a very long time. Players that I played against, and players that I played with. People just get busy with their respective works that they're doing. So we don't really get to meet, and when there's a tournament like this, we really get to meet, and we reminisce about the old times that we used to compete against each other.
And you're part of the Manipur Tigers. They are currently at the last position. Do you think they can make a comeback and are doing well in the tournament?
Well, anyone can win the tournament, because even after the first round, there's still the playoffs. So one team can lose all the games in the preliminary rounds, and then win the semifinals and finals and still win. Look, it's T20, and T20 can be anyone's game. And it doesn't really matter where we are at the moment. We know that we're just one game away from turning that around.
And India versus Australia series is going on. India's one zero down the series. Do you think they can make a comeback in the series?
Well, I watched the game. I watched the game. It was a really good game. Like I said, T20 is a little bit more difficult to predict than Test cricket or one-day cricket, because because of the shorter the shorter format of it. So because of that, it's really difficult to predict. I thought the game was really an interesting cricket game. The wicket was a belter, and it was good cricket all round.
And Bumrah is also back in the squad. So, does Bumrah's return make the team stronger for the India team?
Well, anyone you would ask that question will tell you the same answer. He's a world-class performer. It's not degrading the ones, that are playing at the moment, but Bumrah is, a world-class performer, and his bowling at the death obviously brings a bit of spice into the team.
And Captain Craig Irvine returns after injury to lead the Zimbabwe team at the World Cup. So, what's your thoughts on the overall team selection at the T20 World Cup Zimbabwe team?
Well, I haven't been really in touch with the selection part of Zimbabwe cricket, and the matches that they've played. And also, it's difficult to really predict, because they haven't been playing a lot of matches. I think it's only just recently where they played Bangladesh and then went to Australia. Apart from that, they had a really a big break. So I know that Craig got injured and is now back in the side. But there are a few changes that are happening with the youngsters coming in, the youngsters that I didn't even know, because I don't live in Zimbabwe anymore. To answer your question, it's very difficult to predict, where they are at and where they're going to be.
And Zimbabwe recently defeated Australia at the series. So, what's your thoughts on how big this news for the Zimbabwe team and the upcoming youngsters?
So I think Zimbabwe is always going to be playing the same type of cricket. So they will be losing games and winning games, winning some games and losing, some games. When we played, it was the same. We used to, lose some games and win some games. The only difference between when we played and now is when we played, we used to play against the strong sides. But nowadays, it seems like when Zimbabwe is playing, stronger sides send slightly weaker teams. That is the only difference. But because they're already in the international top circle of cricket, they will always win a game or two. I did hear that they played well against Australia. It wasn't being broadcasted where I was. I'm coaching in Bangladesh at the moment, so I didn't really get to watch it. But I heard that they played well in the last game.
You played in the different captains. One Zimbabwe had the hit streak, and Saurav in the IPL team. So who was your favorite captain at the time?
Well, I played under different captains. I think I played under Andy Flower to begin with, then Alistair Campbell, then Heath Streak before I became captain myself, and then obviously under Saurav Ganguly. I think my view on captaincy. I think every captain is different in their way. They, like any other human being, there are advantages and disadvantages on the way they do things. I felt Ganguly was a go-getter kind of a captain, like a strong personality captain. I thought Andy Flower was like a parental kind of captain. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because he took me under his shoulder and I learned quite a lot from him. Whereas Heath Streak was more a jovial kind of a captain where he tries to joke around with everyone and try to gel the team that way. So you get different, different captains who captain the team differently.
And talking about that era, Andy Flower, Grand Flower, you, Hit Streak, Ivan Hall, and Andy Olangat. So do you miss that era?
I think Zimbabwe will have to really do well in all departments to bring back that era. I think that is the best era that we ever had in cricket because, I mean, we used to win some really, really good games and we used to win some very important World Cup matches and we used to get to the Super Sixes. We did that a couple of times in '99 and we did that again in 2003. So we used to really, push on and get to, to high positions. And yes, we used to have a good team then. We used to have a good bunch of players that were very professional and, wanted to see Zimbabwe on a different level.
And Virat Kohli also back in the form, scored 100 again, Afghanistan, his 71st 100. So do you think is it good news for the Indian fans, Indian cricket team, that before the World Cup?
Well, allow me to be a little bit honest here. Look, I think there's definitely something that happened when Virat Kohli, left captaincy, and I don't think whatever happened has really been ironed out. And I think that has got a bit to contribute to how Virat has been performing. Unfortunately, we can never really know exactly what happened. But whatever it is, I think the people involved should be able to sit down and really get to the root of it and not leave it lying around and hanging about. Get to the root of it, iron it out, then Virat Kohli will be able to play the way the way we know Virat Kohli plays, without a little bit of an extra pressure of that story hanging, whatever that story is.
And your thoughts on overall Indian team selection? Do you think Mohammad Shami deserved a chance in the squad?
The overall selection, you see, with the selection, selection depends on several things. Selection depends on the conditions, the game plan, the balance of the side. So with all those things, you cannot say this person is better than this one, because all those aspects have got to be put into place. Now, with the addition of data that can show that this player plays better against this player, and if this player is in the team does better, there's also that data that comes into play. So with all those things in place, the coach and selectors and captain, they've got a bigger role to play than when we played international cricket. So there is a lot more to look at, especially with the data to come in, and I'm sure they will be looking at all those things.
One last question.